Good evening, people, and welcome back to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. And as always, we're back with another massive show for you guys this evening. But before we jump into that, please do smash a like on the video and please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. So on the show this evening, we're going to be talking a little bit about this news story that's come out this afternoon about a new demand that the Glazers are apparently asking for, which we will jump into in a minute. We'll also be talking a little bit about Onana and about some showdown talks with Erik ten Hag. Also talking a little bit more on the Jadon Sancho situation. There's been more developments on that front. Also talking a bit about Donny van der Beek. It looks like he will most likely be staying at the club. Lots and lots to get into. As always, do get involved in the comments section. Do let me know your thoughts on everything we discuss on today's show. And let's jump straight on into it. So let's start off with this story about the Glazers. I'll read it out for you really, really quickly, and then we can, of course, discuss it as a community. So it says, the Glazers are trying to convince Ineos to not just let them stay, but to have voting rights on the board. Ineos have talked about walking away if they insist on this. Ineos, Rain Group and the Glazers have had talks over the last couple of weeks. Now, if anybody doesn't understand what's being asked here, right? Not only are the Glazers trying to stay, which we know that Ineos were willing to facilitate, Ineos were willing to let them keep, I think it was 18%, right? Ineos, James Radcliffe, Sir Jim Ratcliffe was going to buy 50% of the club, and then the Glazers were going to stay with 18%, right? Not only do they want that, but they also want to still have voting rights on the board, which is absolutely crazy. Because anybody who's Sir Jim in, which I know is very, very few people, there's no way you could ever be happy with what's being said there. Because anybody who says that they want Sir Jim Ratcliffe, right, they would say, well, the Glazers wouldn't even have any say in anything, so it doesn't matter. Okay, there are some people out there who want Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and obviously that's completely fine. That's their opinion, and they're entitled to their opinion. But what the Glazers are now trying to ask from Sir Jim Ratcliffe is that ultimately they still get a say on everything. They still get to, be on the board. They still get to have a big part in the decisions, and they still get to keep 18%. So you've pretty much still got the Glazers on the board, right? You've still got them profiting off Manchester United, and they've not gone in any capacity. All you've done is just sold some of the club to somebody else who doesn't have any money either. Like, Sir Jim Ratcliffe doesn't have the money to get us where we need to be. We know that. He doesn't have the billions and billions to throw into Manchester United in the hope that potentially it will kind of get us back on a level playing field. So obviously this is absolutely ridiculous. The story then goes on to say that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is well aware of the impossibility of allowing the Glazers any meaningful say and would rather walk away from the negotiations. So it looks like the Glazers, as always, they're not just satisfied with what they've got. They're not satisfied with, the 5 to 6 billion offer from Sheikh Jassim. They're not satisfied with the 3 billion offer for 50% of the club from Sir Jim Ratcliffe. They're trying to push. They're trying to push and push and push. They're trying to keep their grubby little hands in the club that we all love. And I mean, it's completely unacceptable. It's absolutely ridiculous. The fact that they think that they can still stick around in any form is crazy. The fact that they think they can stick around and still have a say on the board, that's just absolutely mental. It completely baffles me. They're so deluded that they think that anybody would go for this, that they think that Manchester United fans would be happy with this. How would anybody be happy with that? But obviously, let me know what you think in the comments section. It's ridiculous. It is. Let me know what you think about this story. Obviously, at the moment, it's only come out from 2 different people, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. Again, this could just be a tactic from the Glazers to try and bump up the price. We know that they've done that in the past. We know that they've said in the past that they were, favouring Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and then next thing, Sheikh Jassim puts in another bid. I do have to be honest with you, though, right? Why is everything so quiet? It does make me a little bit concerned, right? I'm just having a look. Yeah, so there's another story coming out this afternoon as well from the Times, from Matt Lawton, saying that apparently Manchester United the Glazers have had contact with the 2 interested parties in the last couple of weeks. So anybody saying that the deal is off, saying that the club is not going to be sold, something is happening behind the scenes. There is negotiations going on. Obviously, we don't know the exact extent of what's being said. But the headline also says that Manchester United lose 500 million in stock value in one day amid takeover doubt. So anybody watching this who is, Sheikh Jassim, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and they see how volatile the market is to these reactionary stories, like, surely that's just the biggest red flag. If you're Sir Jim Ratcliffe, right, you've already offered them 3 billion for half of the club, and they're still wanting to take more from you. At that point, you should just walk away. You should say, this is ridiculous. You've been messing me around for 9 months. They're making him look stupid. They're making him be hated, really, amongst the Manchester United fan base, because most of us don't want Sir Jim Ratcliffe. And now, after all of this, Sir Jim Ratcliffe's thrown them a lifeline, and they're still trying to hold on to it. So the story is coming out from, let me just get the journalist's name up. It's coming out from a couple of people. So the guy's name on Twitter is Phil Brown. He's on NBC, TalkSport, a couple of other things as well. He's got over 100,000 followers on Twitter. He's been pretty good around the takeover, and he was the one who brought this story out earlier on today. And then there's been a couple of others on Twitter also talking about it over the course of this afternoon. Now, the thing we do have to remember is, right, that this could just be a negotiation tactic from the Glazers, right? They might be trying to get this put into the press so then they can go back to Sheikh Jassim and say, oh, well, Sir Jim Ratcliffe's considering giving us voting rights. What can you offer? And maybe that then increases their offer, because that's all that it's about to the Glazers is money. All they want is to try and bump up the price, and that's what we all know. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this story. Obviously, it is frustrating. I get it. It's really annoying. It's not really the kind of story you want to hear. I'd much rather hear that they were, negotiating with Sheikh Jassim to try and bump up the price a bit. But are any of us really, really surprised about this? I'm not, to be honest. We know that the Glazers, especially Joel and Avram, want to stay. We know that they want to hang on and try and get every little bit of money out of them that they can. Just to confirm as well, so Mike Keegan has been talking this afternoon, and he says that those close to the Manchester United sale process on all sides say it remains ongoing. One source described the Glazers as very patient people. Now, when he says very patient, what I think he really means there is very stubborn. These people want as much money as they can possibly get for this club. And when he says patience, all he means is that they're willing to wait to get the amount of money that they want. Okay, that's all he means there. But the key bit from that quote from Mike Keegan this afternoon is that, he's obviously been speaking to those close to the sale process, and they have confirmed that it does remain ongoing on all sides. So all parties do still feel like they are in the midst. And this was reported this morning. So as of this morning, those close to the Manchester United takeover process on all sides say that it remains ongoing. Right, so there's another bit on this story as well. Quickly, it says the Glazers also want voting rights, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe will walk away if they insist. Fair to say they're taking Sir Jim Ratcliffe for a complete joke. It's best for Sir Jim Ratcliffe to walk away from this deal. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, I mean, they are literally taking Sir Jim Ratcliffe for a fool, aren't they? If they think that he's going to give them voting rights, that is absolutely crazy. They do not deserve that. They do not deserve to even stay in the club for another day, let alone to be still involved in any types of decisions and all the rest of it. But let me know what you guys think. Obviously, we're 9 months into this process now. It's so frustrating that every single week we get a different story. We get another journalist coming out with something different, and it's just it does make you wonder what's actually going to happen here. And I want you guys to let me know in the comment section, how are you feeling about this at the moment? Which direction do you think this takeover is going to go in? Do you think that we're just stuck with the Glazers now forever? Do you think they'll sell to Sir Jim Ratcliffe? What's your heart telling you? Let me know what your thoughts are. Let's see what everyone is saying in the chat. Somebody saying, is Juventus for sale? I'm not sure, to be honest with you, mate. Don't know much about Juventus. Simon says, Phil Brown, good journalist. I feel like a punch bag supporting this club. Yeah, mate, I agree with you. Very frustrating. Giles says, what we know, Jassim wants this deal done fast. He is a United fan. He gave a decent bid. We know that if he does not bid what the Glazers want, he will not get the club. He needs to pay up or he won't win. Yeah, you know what, mate? I do somewhat agree with you. Obviously, I know we all want Sheikh Jassim desperately, but at the end of the day, he has to pay what the Glazers want. The Glazers own the club. It's their business to do what they want with. I know that's frustrating. I know we want them out, but we have to kind of accept that, don't we? Amy says they will sell to Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Alan says, I think they don't want to sell to Sheikh Jassim. They would prefer Sir Jim Ratcliffe to stay and have a part of the club. I mean, guys, we've been saying that for months and months and months, that we know that the Glazers want to stay. We know that especially Joel and Avram want to stay. That's been widely reported for the last kind of 6 or so months, that those two really, really want to stay at Manchester United. They want to still have a say in the club. They want to, have the clout and the ego that it is of owning the biggest football club in the world. They'll be treated completely differently if they lose that kind of sense of value from, you know, not having that as in their portfolio. But yeah, let me know what you think about that one. And everybody who's just joined in the last couple of minutes, please do smash a like on the video and please do subscribe to the channel. I've just dropped a link in the chat to subscribe. We're on the road to 20k subscribers, so let's see how quickly we can hit that. I've set a goal of the end of September to hit 20k, so please do go and subscribe if you haven't already, and let's see if we can hit 20k subscribers by the end of September. Richie says, get in Ineos. I never wanted Qatar near Old Trafford. I know Richie's been in the comment section a couple of times before, and as I always say, guys, everybody is entitled to their opinion in this channel. I'm not gonna, you know, slag people off for having a differing opinion to me. So it is good that there's, you know, that there's people in this community who do have differing opinions to me. I welcome it. Do let me know, Richie, why you want Sheikh Jassim. Just let me know what your reasons are, and we can continue the conversation on this video today, because I'd love to have that conversation. Paul says, time to switch team alliance until the Glazers are gone. Nah, that's something I'll never do. No matter how badly it gets with Manchester United and the Glazers, I will never swap teams. I will always support Manchester United. I will always watch the games. Yeah, that's just not something I'm going to do. I will not ever give up on Manchester United, never. Let's see what else people are saying. Amy says, after that 60 million sponsorship deal, it will take much longer to sell. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, right, the thing you have to remember is, we spoke about it on the show this morning, we've just got the biggest front of shirt sponsorship deal, 60 million. And we've also just got the biggest kit sponsorship deal with Adidas for 900 million. I think it's 90 million per season. So anybody who says that Manchester United, you know, you haven't won a Premier League title in 10 years and all the rest of it, we've got the biggest value kit sponsorship and the biggest value shirt sponsorship. So on a commercial side, we're probably at our all-time high. I mean, we are. We did a video on this a couple of months ago where Manchester United this season, in the calendar, you know, accounting season, had made the biggest amount of money ever. You know, it was like £700-800 million revenue. It goes up and up and up every single season. What have we got? Carl says, United till I die. Yeah, 100%, mate. You're not going to stop supporting your team. Simon says, my head's been spinning for so long, I haven't got a clue anymore. Yeah, mate, I get it. It is frustrating. I know, like, we've been in this together for so long now. I feel like you want it to reach some sort of conclusion. You really do. For me, that conclusion is not Sir Jim Ratcliffe. So yeah, Manchester Evening News are now reporting the same story. So Manchester Evening News are reporting that Manchester United takeover bidder Sir Jim Ratcliffe has been dealt a double financial blow amid his ongoing attempts to assume control at Old Trafford. Proposals headed up by Sheikh Jassim from Qatar and Sir Jim Ratcliffe from Ineos have yet to be accepted by the Glazer family, and United remain at a crossroads off the field. That means the Premier League giants are still blah, blah, blah. Due to the red tape involved, Qatari banker Sheikh Jassim has remained silent, putting forward his offer. But doing a rare interview, Sir Jim Ratcliffe recently stated that failure is not an option for him as the Glazer family continue to mull over blah, 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 blah. Then it says that reports from Bloomberg highlight that Sir Jim Ratcliffe's two major chemical firms, Ineos Holdings and Ineos Quattro Holdings, recorded net losses in the second quarter of 2023. It's the first time that's happened at the two firms since 2020. However, bondholders are understood to be quite relaxed about the situation, as Ineos has reportedly built up around 2 billion in cash reserves. I mean, so that's even worse, right? So his obviously, we know that Sir Jim Ratcliffe at Nice has been really, really poor, right? We know that he hasn't done a particularly good job at Nice. And now you're seeing that this is coming out from Bloomberg literally today in the last 10 minutes or so, that both of Sir Jim Ratcliffe's other companies, his two Ineos companies, are both now recording net losses for the second quarter of 2023. And that's the first time since 2020 that that's happened. Now, obviously, there could be a variety of reasons for that. I will, of course, do a little bit more research. This story has literally just come out in the last couple of minutes, so you're getting my live reaction and my live thoughts to it. But I will try and look into it to see if there's a reason, why, you know, Ineos are currently losing money. It goes on to say, it says a spokesperson for Ineos said the chemical sector, closely tied to the global GDP, experienced robust growth past COVID, but now mirrors economic trends and interest rates impacting demand. The Ineos statement added, despite this, the fundamentals of Ineos business remain strong, and the underlying strength of the sector, which enables our everyday lives through the production of materials critical to healthcare, technology, construction, and more endures. So yeah, at the moment, Ineos is losing money. I don't know. I'm not going to make too much of a big deal about this. Obviously, the Manchester Evening News are saying Sir Jim Ratcliffe dealt financial blow amid Manchester United takeover. So they're obviously making it all doom and gloom. It doesn't particularly look good to me, but obviously let me know what you guys think of that one. So we've got a super chat coming in from Acid Red Devil. Thank you very much for the support, my friend. I really do appreciate it. Acid Red Devil says, non-disclosure agreements in these negotiations. I don't believe any reports, regardless of their tier one reporters. They know what's happening. Yeah, I hear you, mate. I definitely do. I think for me, if you want my honest opinion, I think obviously from a Manchester United perspective, selling to Sheikh Jassim is the best option, just because he's going to clear the debt. He's going to, a new stadium and all the rest of it. But from what the Glazers want, I think that they probably would prefer Sergeant Ratcliffe, and that's just what's been documented for a very, very long time. Stefan says only a full sale will be acceptable. Yes, I 100% agree with you. And again, thank you for your super chat, Acid Red Devil. I really, really do appreciate your support. And thank you to every single one of you who supports the channel as well. If you do want to join the members club, or if you want to do a super chat or any of that stuff, if you just hit the $sign, obviously any support is of course appreciated. Richie Club Sport has come back saying Qatar have not done a good job at PSG. Yeah, mate, I hear you, but then Ineos haven't done a good job at Nice. So when you look at it like that, is that really a fair argument to say, that Qatar haven't done a good job at PSG? For that reason, I want Sergeant Ratcliffe. I mean, if Sergeant Ratcliffe had just turned Ineos into title contenders at Nice and he was doing an incredible job, maybe my view would be different, but he doesn't even want to buy all the club. He wants to buy half of the club. He's not going to build a new stadium. He doesn't have the money to clear the debt, and his only other football venture has been a failure. So when you look at it like that, I don't really see the argument for Sergeant Ratcliffe whatsoever. But obviously, if you have any other opinions, please do let me know, Richie, and we can continue having that conversation, because I'm always happy, as I said, to get other people's opinions from this community. I'm not gonna belittle you. I will read out your opinions. If they're different to mine, I will respect them, and we can of course discuss them together. Ryan says Sergeant Ratcliffe should just admit he can't afford Manchester United. I mean, I do kind of agree with you. The fact that he can only buy 50% of it kind of sums it up. The fact that he can't build a new stadium, the fact that he doesn't have the money to clear the debt, or isn't willing to spend the money to clear the debt, all of those things are a red flag for me, and that's why I've been quite anti-Sergeant Ratcliffe for such a long time, because for us to get anywhere close to Manchester City and those other top teams, right, we need the debt gone, we need a new stadium, we need the best scouts, the best director of football and all the rest of it. And I don't think that what Sergeant Ratcliffe's done at Nice gives me any confidence that he can deliver those things. So it's not just about money with Sheikh Jassim for me. It's about the whole package. It's about what I think he'll bring in the backroom staff. He'll bring in new scouts, new directors of football, and all the rest of it. Whereas maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll bring in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as the assistant manager. Maybe he'll bring in Mike Phelan as the second assistant manager. You never know, do you? Sheikh Jassim might come in and he might do it terribly, but I just think that on a fundamental level, what he's offering is a lot better. Big ups to RJ as well, and big ups to everybody. Simon, Rajat, hope you're doing well. Hope everybody is having a nice day. Amy says Snapdragon, name of the stadium of San Diego State University Stadium. Yeah. Obviously, we did speak about the new shirt sponsorship earlier on today. It will be Snapdragon, which apparently make chips for Android phones. They already are a sponsorship for Manchester United. I think they're a technology partner, and they will become the official front of the shirt sponsor as well. So £60 million per season. When you add that to the £90 million per season that we're getting from Adidas, it's an extra massive wedge in the Manchester United's revenue bank. So that's positive for them, isn't it? Maureen says, if he has $3 billion, why won't he put that towards Nice? I mean, that was what was said before, wasn't it? There was a story floating around maybe 2 months ago saying that, if Sergeant Ratcliffe has all this money to spend, why is he not just trying to make Nice this competitive team in Ligue 1? Because you know what? To get Nice from where they are now into the top four, and even to win the league in the French league, is way more achievable to get Manchester United to win the league, I reckon you genuinely, if he went and spent $500 million on Nice, I reckon he could genuinely get them in the Champions League every single season. And the fact that he hasn't done that, the fact that he's not willing to do that, kind of sums it up for me. I think that he does just want to bring in, buy Manchester United to sit on it, not really invest much money in it, and just sees it as a legacy type thing, something that he would then be known as the owner of Manchester United for hundreds of years down the line. But maybe I'm wrong on that. Obviously, if anybody is really, really keen on the Sergeant Ratcliffe bid, then please let me know your thoughts on it. Perez says maybe Sergeant Ratcliffe buys 50% of the club, has the overall power of decision making, then sells to Sheikh Jassim. The thing is, though, mate, if he does that, then the Glazers would still own 18%, because the thing you have to remember is, right, he's still the Glazers still have 18% of the club, and we know that Sheikh Jassim wants 100%. So why would Sheikh Jassim buy the 50% off Sergeant Radcliffe? I get what you're saying, but I think it's just a little bit it's a little bit of dreamland. I don't see I don't see Sergeant Radcliffe buying 50% and then trying to sell it to Sheikh Jassim. That's not going to happen. But obviously, you never know. Somebody says why Ollie is back. I mean, I hope Ollie's not back. I haven't seen anything about Ollie coming back. I mean, if he is, then that's not great, is it? Fred says the club is only worth what someone pays. If these Muppets keep asking for more and more, who in hell will have 10 billion if Sheikh Jassim drops out? Yeah, I agree with you, mate. Right, but get all your thoughts in the comment section about that area of the show. Do let me know what you think about this story. And we're going to move on to the next topic now. So the next topic is about Andre Onana. This is coming out from a couple of different journalists in the UK this afternoon, and they're reporting that Andre Onana is set for showdown talks with Erik ten Hag over his decision to return to international duty with Cameroon. Now, obviously, when Manchester United signed Onana, right, we were under the expectation that he wouldn't be going to the Africa Cup of Nations because obviously he wasn't at that point in the team for Cameroon because he had a falling out, I believe, with the Cameroon manager. Now, obviously, he went back to the national team over the last couple of weeks for the friendlies. We don't know whether he's going to stay in the team or whether he's going to, drop back out of it. I hope that he drops back out of it because I saw a breakdown earlier on today, right, of the fixtures that he will miss. It was like 4 Premier League games, 2 League Cup games, a Champions League game. It was like 7 or 8 games that Onana would miss if he does go to the Africa Cup of Nations. And it would be a massive, massive blow for Manchester United because we really, really need him. I know we've got this Altay Bayindir guy, but is he really going to have any experience by that point? I'm not too sure. I mean, obviously in the Premier League, I don't think so personally. And I do think he'll be a massive, massive blow. But let me know. Let me know what you think about that one. I would be disappointed if he goes, but I would understand at the same time, playing for your country is something that people dream of for all of their lives. So maybe he will go and do that. But yeah, let me know what you think about that one. How big of a blow would Onana going to the Africa Cup of Nations be for Manchester United? Now, I want to move over to the list of players that have been registered for the Premier League. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole list. The ones that I wanted to highlight was Donny van de Beek has just been registered to be a part of the Premier League squad for this season. Now, the reason I bring this up is because obviously we thought Donny van de Beek was going to go. It does now look like he will stay because the window for Turkey closes on Friday, and then the only other window left open in world football will be the Qatar window. Is he going to go to Qatar? I don't think so. I think that Donny van de Beek is going to stay now. I have no issue with it. I don't. I think if we were going to get 10, 15 million pounds for him, great. Let Donny van de Beek go. But letting him go on loan, it seems pointless. I would much rather keep him at the club as an option. If we get one more injury in that midfield, if Bruno gets injured, what do we do then? We need Donny van de Beek at least until January. And hopefully at that point we can then sell him and hopefully we can bring in some money. But let me know what your thoughts are on the Donny van de Beek situation. Are you happy that he stayed at the club? Do you think Manchester United should have got rid of him? Let me know what your thoughts are. And I also wanted to ask you guys something, right? Do you think Rasmus Højlund will start against Brighton on Saturday? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. For me, he 100% has to start. We have to see Rasmus Højlund getting his full debut, his home debut against Brighton on Saturday. That is essential for me. But let me know what you think about that one, guys. For me, it's 100% yes, but let me know what your thoughts are. And everybody who's just joined the chat in the last couple of minutes, please do smash a like on the video and please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're only about 30 subscribers away from 18,400, so let's see if we can hit that by the end of the video. Please do go and subscribe. We're live every single day at 8 a.m. and 6 p.m, and if anything breaks during the day, we do go live. We've got a really nice community here, so do get involved if you are new. Acid Red Devil says Scott McTominay was absolutely trash for Scotland. Yeah, I mean, Scott McTominay definitely isn't good enough for Manchester United, is he? Although he is, I think, the leading goal scorer in the Euro qualifiers, whatever that means. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one. So there's another story coming out here saying that Sofiane Amrabat is now back in Manchester. Obviously, he dropped out of the Morocco team due to a minor injury, but it does say that he is very likely to make his debut against Brighton on Saturday. So that's a massive positive for us. And there was another story coming out this afternoon as well saying that all of the players that took part in the international breaks, none of them got injured. So we haven't had any more new injuries. Everybody who went off, so, your Rashfords, your Brunos, your Dallos, They're all apparently fit. They didn't get injured, so we haven't got any more injuries to deal with, which obviously is massively positive when you think that we've got about 10 players out with injuries at the moment. So none of our players have come back injured. That's really, really positive. I think they'll be back in training either today or tomorrow. Obviously, our game is on Saturday against Brighton, which we will be doing a watch-along for. So if you are around for that, please do get involved. Now, there's a story coming out from Mike Keegan this afternoon that I want to talk to you guys about. And the story is this. It says a loan move for a right winger in January may be the answer for Manchester United to get them through until the end of the season. Now, obviously, the reason that this story has come out is because of Anthony. It's because of the issues with Jadon Sancho. It's because of the injuries to Amad Diallo. We are looking very, very weak in the attacking positions at the moment. Now, I want you guys to let me know in the comment section who would be your preferred option in the wing position. You know, would you like to go for somebody like... I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. Who could we go for? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Who would you go for? And do you think Jadon Sancho will still be a Manchester United player in January? I think he'll be here until January. I can't see him going to Turkey. I can't see him going to Qatar. But I do think that he will most likely leave. Let's have a look. Ryan says, we bought Rasmus Højlund and suddenly Martial is fit. I mean, yeah, it is quite strange, isn't it? What a coincidence. Kevin says, I'd be more worried if the club wasn't doing deals, so it won't affect the takeover bids at all. In fact, it's just a pity they don't focus on the transfer window as they do commercially. Yeah, loads of people in the chat saying Pellistri should start. Alan says Amrabat will start against Brighton. Yes, everyone's spamming Pellistri. I agree, guys. Pellistri has to start against Brighton. But you know what? I have this funny feeling that Jadon Sancho and Erik ten Hag are going to become friends again, and that we will see Jadon Sancho starting against Brighton. I think that's the wrong decision. I definitely do not want to see Jadon Sancho play against Brighton. It's far too soon. He hasn't done an apology. He left a tweet up for 8 days. It has to be Pellistri. If it isn't Pellistri, that's an absolute disgrace. It really, really is. The only exception I can say here is if Bruno Fernandes was to play on the right wing, and then maybe Eriksen plays as the number 10. That could work. I wouldn't have a massive issue with that if it was Amrabat, Casemiro as the two holding midfielders, Eriksen as the number 10, and then Bruno on the right. I would be okay with that. It's either got to be that or Pellistri as the right winger. I do think that Bruno is better in the number 10 position, though. I don't really like Bruno on that right wing, but I do think that Eriksen does deserve game time. He was unbelievable for Denmark over the international break. I definitely think he's hot and in form, so I would like to see him get some game time. But let me know how you would line up on Saturday. There's loads of people in the chat saying that I think it'll be Bruno on the right wing. Yeah, Kevin says Bruno on the right wing. Someone else says Bruno on the right wing. Yeah, everybody seems to think there'll be Bruno on the right wing. And you know what? I think that is probably the most logical suggestion because Erik ten Hag likes him in that position. We know that Bruno seems to like playing in the right wing. I'm not sure if he does, but he seems willing to do it at least, doesn't he? But yeah, for me, I don't really like him in that position. I think he's better as a number 10. But I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, Erik ten Hag picks to do that. Amy says Pellistri should start. Maguire should rip up his contract. Okay. Matata United says, Kieran, what would you have done with the Sancho situation if you were in Erik ten Hag's position? I mean, if it was me and somebody came out and disrespected me like that, who was somebody that, was, one of my employees, and I'd given them loads of chances. I'd let them, take 3 months off or whatever it was because they were having personal problems, which I think was the right decision, by the way. I wouldn't be able to forgive them, I don't think. I'm one of those type of people, right? This is me talking in a personal vein now because somebody's asked the question, but I'm a very patient person, right? And I'm very understanding. I'm very compassionate. If I feel like somebody's trying to do me over and somebody loses that trust with me, it's very difficult for me to get that back. And that's how I would be if I was Erik ten Hag. I would say, I've given you every opportunity, Jadon, I've backed you in the media. I've given you time off. I've let you go and take some time away to focus on your mental health, which was the right decision, and your physical health or whatever it might have been. And now you've done this to me. I don't see how I can, turn the corner here. Especially after, how Erik ten Hag dealt with Cristiano Ronaldo. I think that Erik ten Hag is that type of man that once you rustle his feathers, as they say, that's it. But let me know what you guys would have done. Let's see what everyone else is saying. Reg says, I think Erik ten Hag will just have to make do with the players we have. Yeah, he will. Somebody says Pellistri's trained in Mexico during 2 months of the off-season. Yeah, I mean, that's just the attitude that you want, isn't it? I saw that story coming out today. So for anybody who's unaware of this, during the summer holiday, whatever you want to call it, Pellistri apparently trained by himself or with, personal trainers for the whole 2 months. It says Pellistri on his training camp in Mexico to prepare for the season. He says we can't have vacations, and so we have to continue training during the vacations because the seasons are more difficult each time. And if we want everything, winning is the way to go. So he had his own training camp for the whole summer, right? I mean, that's absolutely mad, isn't it? He says we can't have vacations. He's set his levels that high that he won't even give himself a vacation during the summer. He wanted to keep training. He wanted to keep getting better, keep developing. And you know what? That's the kind of thing that earns my respect. And I absolutely hope and I pray that he gets his chance on Saturday, because it's just like Aaron Wan-Bissaka for me. It's somebody who's not complained once. They've worked hard. They've done everything they can behind the scenes, and they deserve to get this opportunity. So, yeah. Richie says the fact that Manchester United are linked to a winger means that Anthony is not coming back. I don't know what's going to happen with the Anthony situation, to be honest with you, everyone. But what I will say is this. I think it's going to take a lot longer than like a couple of weeks to resolve, okay? Because a court case, a legal case doesn't happen overnight. And if there's a legal case on the table, which it looks like there will be with Anthony, it's going to take a long time. It will take months. It could take even longer than months. It could take a year. I mean, how long did the Mason Greenwood situation take? A very long time. And that never really got resolved. The case just got dropped. So, yeah, I think sorry about that. We will be without Anthony at least until January, if not longer. Somebody says, should Dalot play on the right wing? I mean, I'm sure Dalot could play on the right wing, but for me, it should be Pellistri, 100%. It should be Ahmad when he comes back from injury as well. We've got plenty of options there. We've even got Mason Mount who can play on the right wing, so definitely not Dalot for me. But obviously, if that's your opinion, that's cool. Like, let me know what you guys think. Would you like to see Dalot play as the right winger? I'm sure he can do it. I really, really am sure he can do it. But for me, I think we have better options in that position. And you know what? I think Dalot looked quite good at left back. I did. I was quite happy with that. Amy says the legal cases have to go through Brazil as well. Yeah, I mean, he's got legal cases in the UK and in Brazil. 2 different countries. And we know that Manchester United aren't going to start playing him whilst he's got these legal cases, because they can't. After what's happened with Mason Greenwood, they're not going to start playing him again. Somebody's talking about Kobe Mainoo in the chat, so I did want to bring that into the show really quickly. Now, we haven't had this confirmed by Erik ten Hag yet, because obviously he would do his press conference on Friday, but it does look like Kobe Mainoo will be back fit for the game against Brighton. I don't expect him to start, but I would expect him to be on the bench for the game against Brighton, which is, you know what, unbelievable. That's a massive, massive boost to see Kobe Mainoo back in that Manchester United shirt. I've got massive expectations for the kid. I think this season will be his breakthrough season. I'm not expecting him to start every game, but I'm expecting him to get some opportunities, because that's what we need to start seeing from Erik ten Hag. My only criticism of him at the moment is that I want him to start playing some more of the youth, you know? Give Pellistri a chance. Give Kobe Mainoo a chance. Give Amad Diallo a chance, you know? That's what I want for this season, obviously, and we'll see how that pans out at the end of it. But let me know what you think. Irvin says, Kieran, off topic, but did you know Harry Maguire is holding the record for the most own goals scored? Also, on a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate Maguire's goal last night? You know what? With Harry Maguire, I genuinely think that he needs the same thing as what Jadon Sancho had. I think he just needs to go away for a month or two and just kind of, I don't know, just get away from everything, because he's just a walking meme at the moment, isn't he? He's a laughingstock. And it's not good, because it's not nice, is it? Like, everybody bangs on about mental health, me included. It's something that I'm really, an advocate about. But I don't think anybody really cares about Harry Maguire's mental health, do they? Nobody does. Everybody just berates him all the time. And I don't see it getting any better. Like, why is Gareth Southgate still picking him? He comes on, he scores a goal for the Ukraine, not for Ukraine, for Scotland. It's just a joke, isn't it? And I think he does need to have a bit of time away from everything. What have we got? Somebody says, do you want Speed to be the new winger? Yeah, I mean, he probably would be better than what we have at the moment. So there's another story coming in here about Jadon Sancho. It says Manchester United Director of Football John Murtough intervening to get resolution between Jadon Sancho and Erik ten Hag. This directive has come from Richard Arnold, as there is no sign of them resolving their issues. So the Director of Football, John Murtough, is now apparently having to step in to try and form a solution between Erik ten Hag and Jadon Sancho. I mean, that just sums up the situation, doesn't it? The fact that you're having to get somebody above all of them to come in and try and resolve the situation. Erik ten Hag clearly doesn't want him back on the team. He clearly feels like he's been betrayed. He's clearly lost trust in Jadon Sancho, which, you know what? I completely agree with him. I do. Just a quick one, guys. Everybody who's just joined, please do smash a like on the video and please do subscribe to the channel. We're less than 30 away from 18,400, so please do go and subscribe if you haven't already. It's completely free. Doesn't cost any money. It really helps the channel. So yeah, please do it if you haven't already. We've got a couple more things to get through, and then I will be reading out some questions. If you do have any questions, get them in the chat now. Put the letter Q in front of your message or do a super chat or whatever, and I will try and read out as many as possible before the show ends. There's a story coming out from Mike Keegan saying that apparently Manchester United are looking at signing, I can never pronounce this guy's name, I do apologise. It's the guy from Napoli, Kvaratskhelia. I've probably butchered his name. It's the winger from Napoli. I'll try it again. Kvaratskhelia. If anybody knows in the chat how you pronounce his name, please do tell me, because it's a really difficult name to pronounce. But yeah, so Mike Keegan is reporting this afternoon that Manchester United are apparently interested in signing him. I think that's just spin. Like, how on earth would we get that deal done? How much money would Napoli want for that player? 100 million? We know that Liverpool were potentially interested in him as a replacement for Mohamed Salah. I can't see him coming to Manchester United. He's just signed a new contract, 22 years of age. Obviously an absolutely unbelievable player. Yeah, it's not going to happen, is it? But let's see what people are saying. Mita says, will we win against Brighton and Bayern? I think we're going to beat Brighton. I don't think we'll beat Bayern. Yeah, I think we're going to beat Brighton on Saturday, and I think we're going to lose to Bayern. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section, everybody. Do you think we'll beat Brighton, and do you think we'll beat Bayern? Let me know what your thoughts are. Let's see what everyone else is saying really quickly. Richie says, Sancho, surely Manchester United have a legal team. He brought the club into disrepute. There must be a way to fine him heavily and to suspend him unpaid. I mean, you'd think so, wouldn't you? Because I'm sure in their contracts it will say that they're not allowed to, you know, speak badly about the club and speak badly about the manager. But again, I have no knowledge of the legal side of football, to be honest with you. So I would imagine there is something that Manchester United could do, but whether or not that will happen, we'll have to wait and see. The fact that, you know, that these media presenters are saying that we are having to get our director of football to intervene, I mean, that's absolutely mental, isn't it? It just shows how bad the situation is right now. It shows how bad the relationship is between Jadon Sancho and Erik ten Hag. Right, let's see what everyone else is saying. Mumra says, I have a feeling we will win both games. I mean, that would be nice, wouldn't it? It would be very nice if we won both the games. Right, we've just hit our 200 likes target for the video, so I'm going to set up a poll really quickly, and the poll is going to be this. So give me 1 second, guys, whilst I set this one up. Please do like and subscribe whilst I do this. So the question's going to be, what would you do with Jadon Sancho? And the options you've got are this. So we've either got keep, sell in January, loan in January, or send to the under-21s. Let me know your thoughts on why you've picked what you have in the comment section below. My option would be sell in January. And if we can't do sell in January, I'd do loan with an obligation to buy in the summer. Those would be my two options. I think his career's done at Manchester United personally. The fact that we are, as we said, having a story coming out that apparently, you know, John Murtaugh's having to intervene to try and sort out the situation. I mean, what is this? Like school? You know, the manager clearly can't get a tune out of him. The manager clearly can't resolve the situation himself because he just feels it's pointless. So you're then having to go and, you know, speak to the head teacher and say, look, I've tried. This person is just not worth my time. He's being disrespectful. He's disrespected me. You know, it's crazy, isn't it? It really is. Let's see what else everyone else is saying. It seems like everybody is saying he's got to go. Yeah, most people are saying sell. Some people, Simon says he's done here. 20% of you say that you want to keep him though, which is interesting. Somebody says if Maguire can play Premier League, then I can too. Fred says loan, then sell. Yeah, I think any of those options are fine as long as he, you know, goes in January. I think that would be a sensible option for everybody. But yeah, I agree with most of you there. Right. I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. Thank you so much to everybody for joining me this evening. I will be back, as usual, at 8 a.m. UK time for your usual morning show. If anything breaks between now and tomorrow morning, of course, I will go live. Please do make sure to smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll catch you all later.